Well, that was a pretty intense introduction for a very excellent rifle. It's a gear tester here, and welcome to Range Report 2 on the Arsenal SLR-104FR.
So I just did my drill here, shooting with my AK-74, and then drawing my pistol and shooting at the targets here. And you can see I'm very close. I'm within about 5 yards. You can see I put shots here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the Arsenal 74, 1, 2, 3, shooting there, iron sighted, and then I transitioned to my Glock 26, 1, 2, 3. I'm using the XS big dot sights there. You can see those, and I'm happy with that. I haven't shot my pistol at all today, so I just wanted, that was with my carry ammo. Okay, I'm using my carry ammo, and that was just a good test for me to see how it would actually perform under stress. So I thought I would just run you through some of the gear that I used while filming a Range Report 2 on this excellent rifle, the Arsenal SLR-104FR. And then I just talked to you a little bit more about my experience and use with this excellent gun. I've been shooting this gun. I've owned this gun for over 2 years, and I'm working my way through a number of rounds of ammo. We'll talk about reliability in just a second, but I was filming the GoPro footage just using this simple helmet that I got used, and ended up cutting it, okay, so that my electronic cam protection can go on under it. And I just feel that that gives me a better, more stable platform. It also gets the GoPro a little bit further away from my head so you can see more of my hands and more of the firearm. So I think that does a better view there. So that's what I'm running. I've got the little head strap, the elastic head strap, that you can buy for the GoPros, but I find that this is more comfortable and it works better for me when I'm running hearing protection and stuff. In this bag, which is an original SOE bag, I have some gear and equipment. This is the SOE AK M4 micro rig. I'm just running military surplus, I believe Bulgarian Circle 10 mags in it. Okay, I've got a number of those, and so far I have only shot 7 and 6 through this gun. That's about ready to change. I'm going to start shooting some of the Hornady 5.45 60 grain VMAX steel cased ammo through it here, and that'll probably be Range Report 3 on this gun. We'll probably do, instead of just close-up shooting and weapons manipulation, we'll do some long distance shooting or longer distance shooting, 100 yards, maybe 200 if we're lucky. So there you go. Running the 7 and 6, and then looking for some of the Hornady. I really like the SOE micro rig. It's one of the things that I actually prefer about this rig is the fact that it comes with a dedicated secondary pouch on it. It doesn't just have stuff for ammunition, it also has stuff to run medical equipment. And because of that reality, I have purchased and put medical equipment in most of my rigs because there was a dedicated pouch on the SOE gear, and I decided, you know what, I should really have medical equipment with me, not because I plan on getting hurt, but for the same reasons that I put my seatbelt on. So we've got their a blowout kit here that they sell, and I've got a compression H bandage, a decompression needle, I got some gauze to pack wounds. I've got this little tube to intubate, in essence. Goes down your nose and helps, if you have a throat injury, helps you to be able to keep the person breathing if they pass out, if you're needing to work on them in other places. And then I also have a tourniquet here. And so because this pouch is set up that way, or because the rig is set up that way, I've taken advantage of it. Now you could modify that pouch to fit basically anything. But man, I tell you what, the way that I've got another SOE rig and the way that they're set up has really helped me prioritize having medical equipment on me when I'm shooting at the range. And that just, I like that because it just gives me an increased level of security. I have modified the straps a little bit, just shortened them up here with some tape, and maybe I'll do a video on that, but just very simple. What I really like about this rig is that it is so narrow, where it's so compact. They call them a micro rig, but what that means is when I go to get things like a pistol or anything, I'm not fighting it around my chest because this rig is so compact. It leaves my sides open for movement, and I think it's a great rig because of that. 4 magazines are plenty for what I'm doing training wise. I actually find when I have a whole bunch more and I start training and dropping them on the ground, since they're empty, then it takes me time to go back and count them and make sure that I got all of them. I just got some shirts and then some knee pads and stuff, additional just stuff in the bag. So that's the gear and equipment, the GoPro, the helmet, which is just like a bike helmet or a rafting helmet or something there. That's what I've been using on this outing here shooting. I've been running the Aimpoint Comp M4S here on this rifle, and I've been very happy with the way it works. I'm not so happy with having all the additional weight this far out on the gun. When you go to do reloads one-handed, the additional about 15 ounces or so, 12 ounces, 12, 15 ounces, the Aimpoint all the way out here on the gun can make it a little bit harder. It doesn't make it, it's not impossible, but it just increases the amount of leverage that you have to really put into it when you're doing reloads. Love the Aimpoint Comp M4S, have had it for the better part of 4.5 years, and I have not changed the battery. I've had it on the whole time, or close to it. I've been very happy with it. I have switched out my sight here. This is a Krebs custom peep sight, and I have switched out my safety to a Krebs custom safety, which allows me to manipulate the safety on and off right here with just my index finger without breaking my grip, okay? And if I want to, I can still run it in a more traditional manner. I've also am running on it here, you can see the US Palm Battle Grip, AK Battle Grip, which I really like. It gives me a little bit more ergonomic advantage as compared to the slender, thinner, traditional European style grip. Okay, so there you go. In terms of reliability, you might have seen these in the video. I've had a couple malfunctions through about 1,500 rounds, okay? But I have not had a failure to extract. I've had what I think is either a failure to fire or the round did not seat well. Maybe I didn't get the magazine in fully or perfectly, or maybe the first round was kind of pushed down, and so I just had to run the bolt one more time. So you might have seen me do that. That's happened maybe 3 times out of 1,500 rounds. Other than that, there's been no problem. I have cleaned it regularly because I'm using the 7-in-6 ammo, and that's corrosive, and so I'm cleaning the gun actually more often than I might if I wasn't using corrosive ammo. I love the AK, you know, the stock. I was really worried when I first got this that a folding stock was going to cause problems, and that has not been the case. The stock is still rock solid. It's really nice for transport and movement of the firearm, to be able to just swing it down and fit it in a very tight space, but it's not a problem at all when it comes to movement or anything. Okay, it is rock solid still, and that's really what I cared about. So I have been really impressed with the Arsenal SLR-104. It is an excellent rifle. It's been very reliable. I'm hoping in the future here to, instead of have this Comp M4S on it, I got some other projects that this gun is, that the red dot's going to go on. I'm hoping to get a Aimpoint Micro, a T-2 on this gun. I think that will lighten up the front end and make maneuvering the rifle and reloads faster and less burdensome. One thing I don't like, it works well, but I don't like it, or more appropriately, people shooting around me don't like, is this flash suppressor and brake here. That's the traditional one. It is really loud, not to the shooter, but to the people standing around you. And so I probably may be switching that out here, not because it doesn't work well. It eliminates recoil. It does a great job. Flash-wise, not so sure. I haven't done a lot of shooting it in the dark. But it does, the compensation really makes it very loud for those around me. And so I'm thinking I'm going to probably switch that out for something that's a little bit shorter, so the overall length of the gun is shortened, and also maybe is less compensating and more flash hiding, so that those around me don't feel like little bombs are going off every time I pull the trigger. One other thing I have done is I did switch out the front sight to a smaller, thinner one. Not because I wanted it to be smaller and thinner, but the original on the gun was actually bent a little bit. And so I ordered this one, and I thought I was getting one that was the same size, but it is thinner. And that's advantageous for longer distance shooting, which you guys will see in Range Report 3. But it is less beneficial when you're shooting things at 50 yards and closer. So I may switch that out. I'm still kind of deciding. But those are some of the things that I've changed on this gun. The front sight, okay, to a Krebs Custom peep sight or aperture sight. The safety, the grip, the Ultimac, okay, rail, and the front sight. So I've done some modifications on this gun. I didn't do them all at once, but I have over time modified them, and I have found that all those modifications, other than the front sight, are definitely things that I'm keeping. So we're just going to recap my 2-year experience, 1,500 rounds into shooting this gun. It would come highly recommended from me at this point. In the last 2.5 years or so, 5.45 in the 7-in-6 variety has become more expensive, but there are still lots of other loadings that can be imported easily into the country. And I actually really like the decreased recoil that the 5.4 round gets over the 7.62, the traditional AK round. I prefer the lower recoil. I'm able to have faster follow-up shots. And for me personally, it works well. And there's really, at this point, not a significant difference in terms of cost when you look at steel-cased 5.45, when you look at steel-cased 7.62, the Russian 7.62, or by 39, or you look at 5.56, the cheap steel-case stuff. So really, I don't think that you're not losing a terrific amount when you get the AK-74 chambered in 5.45. You're just not getting as good a deal as you would have 3 or 4 years ago when importation of the 7-in-6 was flowing into the country. So, thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. The Arsenal SLR-104FR comes highly recommended from me, the Gear Tester. If you like this video, look for Range Report 3. And remember that I have lots of other videos on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. This is the Gear Tester signing off.
Stop!
Well, that was a pretty intense introduction for a very excellent rifle. It's a Gear Tester here, and welcome to Range Report 2 on the Arsenal SLR-104FR.
So I just did my drill here, shooting with my AK-74, and then drawing my pistol and shooting at the targets here.